What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Rant and Review Pro Wrestling. This is a quick update on the New Japan Cup happening over New Japan Pro Wrestling. Of course, as you may know, or if you're new to New Japan, you may not know, the New Japan Cup is the annual March tournament. It's their March Madness tournament. The winner, traditionally in the past, has gotten to choose which champion they wanted to face, but they've kind of pushed that to just being, hey, just go for the World Heavyweight Championship, and that's what's going on right now in New Japan. So we had a couple of nights of action following the anniversary show, which we covered in a video we did prior in this week. This night we got to see Tonga Loa against the Great Okan. Pretty decent match here. Tonga Loa, I didn't know how much longer he was going to stay around New Japan, given that Tama Tonga most likely he's going to the E, maybe possibly AEW, but I think we mostly think he's going to WWE. But Tonga Loa trying to kind of fill in that spot here. Him and the Great Okan do have a little bit of history. It did come out in this match, but Tonga Loa managed to pull the win out here with a move called the Sacrifice, which was interesting. Chase Owens called his shot early on against Tomohiro Ishii. He attacked him in one of the multi-man tag matches at the anniversary show and said, hey, look, you guys thought Juice Robinson was going to win a couple years ago. I took him out the first round. You think Ishii's going to go far? I'm taking him out the first round. And Chase Owens does beat Tomohiro Ishii with a package pile driver. The first, I would consider, upset of the tournament. A match I was keenly looking forward to was TJP versus David Finlay. Now, they faced each other at a Strong show in the States back in January, where Finlay won that match. And TJP has been trying to become the leader of the United Empire in the absence of Will Ospreay. Now that Ospreay is completely gone from New Japan, this was kind of an opportunity for TJP to really assume that leadership role. Unfortunately for him, he was not able to do that. He looked a lot better in this match against David Finlay than he did in the January match, and this was a more even match, but Finlay, you know, he's Gato's boy, and he's the head of the War Dogs, and he's the head of Bullet Club, technically. So he did win this match with the overkill. But TJP fought his butt off in this match, and what I'm thinking is going on here, this is the second loss to Finlay, which kind of says to me that if TJP and Finlay are in the G1 Climax coming up this summer, that's probably when you're going to see TJP get that big win over Finlay. So they're kind of building up to that. TJP has everything it takes to be the next foreign ace, as far as I've said this before, as far as athletic wrestlers who are foreigners in New Japan. Again, following in the tradition of Fergal Devitt, Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, Will Ospreay, I think TJP definitely has everything it takes to fill that role, and it's going to take a while to build him up. And the Aswan character is a very cool gimmick. I think there's a lot to see from this TJP character going forward. His friendship with Francesca Akira is also very interesting. Akira is seconding him to the ring. I think that pair, I've been a big fan. I've been high on Catch 22 for a couple of years now. They've kind of been underrated and run under the radar for a lot of Western fans, and probably a lot of Japanese fans too. But there's a lot of potential with them, and hopefully New Japan can realize that potential. We then move forward to another night in the tournament. Hikuleo took on Boltin Oleg. Of course, we expected Hikuleo to win this match. Oleg is still kind of a young lion. He's kind of dithering between getting out of that young lion phase and going off Excursion. I think he's going to probably go off to Excursion later this year, but he's a young lion, essentially. And he's still pretty green. There were some green moments in this match for him, but Hikuleo pulled out the win as we expected. Gabe Kidd took on Callum Newman. This is a big potential future foreigner spot. A lot of these guys are fighting for a foreign ace. Gabe Kidd, I think we all pretty much expect that at some point in the future, Gabe Kidd, with his personality and the fact that he can work pretty well in the ring, I think a lot of people sleep on the fact that Gabe Kidd is good in the ring. I think he's probably the potential big foreign heel in New Japan in the next year or two. Callum Newman, on the other hand, a lot of people talk about him being the next Ospreay. He is one of the fastest. Dude, this guy runs the ropes like nobody's business. He gets to his point of attack before he's even throwing the attack, before his opponent's even ready to take the blow. So that's going to be interesting to see how his matches work out. And there was a little bit of timing miscues here with him and Gabe Kidd, but this is not the first time these two guys have wrestled each other. It's the first time they wrestled each other in New Japan in a one-on-one match. Gabe Kidd winning this match, and he's calling his shots. he is one I'm going to watch out for. I don't know if he would win the New Japan Cup. I think it's too early for that, but I think he's going to have a long run and a deep run in this tournament, hopefully to the semifinals. And who knows, maybe his paths will cross with David Finlay in this tournament. I think, again, maybe too early for that, but it's a possibility. Now, this next match is one that's on my recommendation list, definitely. There are two matches I'm going to recommend you guys to watch if you want to go out of your way to watch any of the New Japan Cup. This one's definitely worth it. Shingo Takagi versus Yuya Uemura. And Uemura, I thought when he came back and he joined Just Five Guys, I wasn't really wild about him. I don't like the fact that he beat Tsuji at Wrestle Kingdom. The hair versus hair thing was interesting. He does look a lot like a young Tetsuya Naito now with the haircut. But this match with him and Shingo, it was much more than I expected. It went a lot longer than I expected. Shingo had a really hard time taking out Uemura. He does get the win at the end of the day, but it was not easy at all. In fact, he probably came close to losing this match, kayfabe, several times. Shingo is the most ready for main event star they have right now on the Japanese side for New Japan. You could look at Goto, you could look at some of the other guys on the roster, but Shingo, he's been a guy in the past couple of years, even though he's been a former world champion, he was kind of still underneath Ospreay, still underneath Naito, still underneath Okada, and with Okada and Ospreay gone, two of his greatest rivals over the past couple of years since he's been in New Japan, it feels kind of wide open for Shingo to kind of get up into that spot. And you do see that between this and a multi-man tag match they would have 2 nights later, that the focus does seem to be a little bit more on Shingo. And I think Naito's kind of stepping back a little bit to let Shingo's star shine a little bit. We then move on to earlier this morning, late last night, depending on how you look at it. We got El Phantasmo taking on Mikey Nichols from TMDK. I expected El Phantasmo to win this match. Again, it wasn't easy, but Phantasmo did get the win here. Phantasmo's another guy. He's in his late 30s, so he's not a spring chicken, but there's definite star potential there. I'm still of the mindset that it may have been a mistake to not have him at least run Bullet Club for a little bit and then get booted out before they went to the War Dogs thing with David Finlay, but I'm not booking the show, so it's not up to me. Phantasmo's been cooled off a little bit lately, but I think him going far in the New Japan Cup will help his profile in New Japan. And again, he's another one of these athletic wrestler guys in the vein of the Kenny Omegas and the Finn Balor's and the AJ Styles. I don't know if he could be for an ace, but I definitely think he could be not so much a gatekeeper, but he could be the best that somebody like a TJP would have to get past as far as the athletic foreigner role in New Japan. The most disappointing match, and one that I'm actually kind of irritated with, was Ren Narita versus Taichi. The reason for this is that Zack Sabre Jr. has a bye in the first round. The winner of this match is taking on Zack. Zack used to be in a tag team, the Dangerous Tekkers, one of the better tag teams New Japan's had over the last 5 years. They split up a while ago, last year, and I kind of wanted to see, I did want to see Taichi and Zack in the second round, because we haven't really had the Tekkers go up against each other. And I thought that's what we were going to get here, but this was so much, all the bad stuff about the House of Torture came out in this match, including the result, which was Ren Narita winning by lots of cheating. I am baffled as to where in the hell the rest of Just Five Guys were, as Taichi is basically 3-on-1 with Ren Narita, and I think, was it Dick Togo? I think it may have been Dick Togo, or Ken Amaro was out there too, and Jack Perry was out there helping Ren Narita get this win over Taichi with that stupid weightlifting metal thing that he's got. I hated this. I hated the result. I hated the match. I hated everything about it. And I hate the fact that we're not getting Taichi. We're not getting the Tekkers going up against each other in round 2. And now I got to look at Ren Narita pull shenanigans with Zack Sabre Jr. Zack is not going to fall for this stuff. He's pretty good against, and is kayfabe wise as far as the way New Japan books Zack against a lot of these cheating wrestlers. He's pretty good against them about outsmarting them. So I'm expecting and hoping that Zack is going to be outsmarting the House of Torture coming up in the next round when he has to face Ren Narita. The main event is the second match I'm definitely suggesting you guys go check out, and it's so far the best match of the tournament. It is Jeff Cobb versus Yota Tsuji, which You know, Yota, he's of all the young Japanese wrestlers they've got now, of the Three Musketeers and all that other stuff, he's the one that's most ready for prime time. He's the one that's most ready to probably take a step towards, if not the main event, the upper mid card, pretty soon, within the next 6 months. In fact, he might be a strong pick to win this tournament, especially after this performance. Again, I suggest you watching this match. Him and Jeff Cobb. This was great. This was after the shenanigans of Taichi and Ren Narita. This was great to see a New Japan not strong style, but fighting spirit style of match. These guys fought their butts off. Jeff Cobb is still legitimately hurt too. I think it's his hamstring, and you saw it come out in this match. Yota pulled out some new moves again. Yota is always coming up with some new stuff, especially with his stomps. He did a top leap to the top rope and did a double stomp on Jeff Cobb's head. I don't know what the hell that was. That was crazy looking. It was sick looking. Cobb was close to winning this match several times. He never could hit the Tour of the Islands on Yota Tsuji, and that was the determining factor, is that he couldn't hit that move on Yota. Yota does get his finisher, even though Jeff Cobb hit Yota with his own finisher, the Gene Blaster. He didn't. Cobb also did the Rainmaker pose at one point in this match. Looked like he was going for the Rain Tour of the Islands, or the Tour of the whatever he called it. It's a variation of the Rainmaker and the Tour of the Islands. But again, Yota won the match. Great match, fantastic match. I definitely suggest you guys go checking that out. And again, if there are two matches on this past couple of days for the New Japan Cup that you should go out of your way to see, it would be Yota versus Jeff Cobb and Shingo versus Uemura. After the match, Yota Tsuji gets on the mic. He does reference Tama Tonga and Ospreay and Okada leaving. But again, this is a play for him to become the future of New Japan. And you're going to see a lot of that going forward. And the fact that Shota Umino's out of the tournament now, Ren Narita, I don't see Ren Narita getting past that. If Ren Narita gets past Zack Sabre Jr., that's going to suck. Uemura's out. Yota is the one lone young Japanese wrestler from that group that I think has a chance of winning. I throw Shingo in there, of course, Zack Sabre Jr., of course, and an outside chance of maybe, an outside chance of David Finlay winning this one. I kind of don't want that. Finlay's story is that originally they were saying that he wanted to win the tournament. He didn't care about the world title. He wanted to go back and get a rematch with Nick Nemeth for that global championship, but now he's kind of changed the tune a little bit. He would go after Naito for the world title if he won the tournament, destroy the world championship, so kind of pulling a Naito thing there. And then only the global championship would be the championship of record for New Japan. And Finlay's got a history of this. Of course, he destroyed the UK-US championship earlier this year, which led to the global championship. So a lot of moving parts here. The tournament, I think so far, and this is going to be the story of New Japan probably for the rest of the year, this is a big reset for them. They're trying to right now find who is going to be the future star, who they're going to go get behind, who they're not going to get behind. And Tsuji looks like a good guy to get behind right now. Zack and Shingo, those are your guys that you're probably leaning towards as being your main event guys for the rest of the year in New Japan, with some other guys like Shota and Uemura, Gabe Kidd and others probably coming up behind them a little bit, because they're just going to need, it's just a time thing. They're going to need more time and more reps. The fans are going to have to get more familiar with them, more familiar with their personalities, and more familiar with their moves. It's just a matter of time. We're seeing all of these guys kind of in their embryonic phase. This is not where these guys are going to wind up being in the next couple of years, and that's part of the journey to see that. And the New Japan Cup is the first road on that journey. But I want to know what you guys thought about it. Have you watched the New Japan Cup so far? Who do you have as a pick going on now that we have got a little bit more clear picture of what the next round is going to be? And who is your overall pick to win the New Japan Cup? And do you think that person is going to beat Naito at Sakura Genesis? Because remember, right after Sakura Genesis, Jon Moxley in the States has a championship match against right now Naito, but whoever is the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion come at the end of April, Jon Moxley is going to be waiting for them in that championship. So let me know what you guys think. Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. Until next time, I will see you guys here for more news, rumors, and commentary on the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.